Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Walt here from Down the Block Sports, and today I want to talk about the NBA. The Phoenix Suns are currently without a head coach. They're finalizing a list of candidates. What I want to talk about is who they're speaking to and who they should hire as its next head coach. Again, I'm Alec Walt. This is Down the Block Sports. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more of my exclusive content. Yes, according to multiple reports, the Phoenix Suns have finalized a list of head coaching candidates. Those candidates are former head coaches Nick Nurse, Doc Rivers, and Frank Vogel, as well as Sacramento Kings associate head coach Jordi Fernandez and Phoenix Suns associate head coach Kevin Young. The Suns are replacing Monty Williams. Young was on the bench for Monty Williams, who had decent success over his couple seasons as the Suns head coach. The Monty Williams move obviously came as a bit of a surprise because it had been so successful under him. Added a guy like Kevin Durant. When they got into the playoffs, they struggled mightily against a team like the Denver Nuggets, who were on their way to the NBA Finals. After that playoff series, they decided to move on from Monty Williams and find a head coach. Now, obviously, the objective for the Phoenix Suns is pretty obvious. They're a team that's trying to compete for an NBA championship. Now, it's uncertain what their roster is fully going to look like for the 2024 season, but when you look at names like Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, they're expected to remain in Phoenix. We mentioned DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul be named as candidates to be traded. So yes, the Phoenix Suns are a contending team and a team that is going to be hiring their coach with the objective of winning a championship next year and for the next couple seasons. But there is a chance that some star players on their current roster could be on a new team next year. Now, obviously, that could mean a return back to Phoenix. It's still uncertain what that is going to look like, but that is still something that needs to be known. Now, when you look at some of the veteran coaches here, Doc Rivers, Frank Vogel, when you add a veteran or a veteran's going to, go into a situation like that to try and win, obviously here it makes a little bit of sense. Now, for Phoenix's side, you had to ask your question. We couldn't get over the hump with Monty Williams. Do you think you can get over the hump with Frank Vogel or Doc Rivers? Now, Doc did win a championship with the Boston Celtics, but since did make another NBA championship appearance, but had not been able to take that next step ever since. When he was unable to take that step with the Clippers, he had Chris Paul as one of his teammates. Obviously, that connection can only help if Chris Paul stays, but when you look at taking that next step, I don't think Doc Rivers is really the guy. Now, Frank Vogel did win a championship. He won the bubble championship when he was the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Things did fall downhill from there, as he is looking for a job right now. But Vogel is definitely an interesting candidate, but not exactly a hot name that I think the Phoenix Suns really pursue. Now, when you look at Jordi Fernandez, I do think he's a very solid candidate. I don't know if he's the best candidate for the Suns at this moment, but he was the associate head coach of the Sacramento Kings, worked directly under Mike Brown, who just won the NBA Coach of the Year for the 2022-2023 season. He has experience working on the bench with other NBA teams, as well as a stint in the G League. Only 40 years old. He's one of those hot young names on the market that a team, up-and-coming team is going to want to go after. Now, when you're looking at the Phoenix Suns, you want someone who has experience, obviously, someone who can take this team to the next level. He does have the coaching experience that's nice, but to take that experience to the next level with a group like the Phoenix Suns and the expectations to win a championship, I do think he has the chance to be a coach of a team like that down the road. I just don't know if for his first job that makes a ton of sense, especially not being in-house. Now, the reason why I think that Kevin Young could be an interesting candidate is because he's been there for a couple of years now. He's someone who's interviewed for head coaching jobs before in Phoenix. You want to go from taking one step to the next and having the least amount of issues from a communication standpoint, from a up and down the organization. Young's the best candidate from that situation. Has he been a head coach before? No, but he has the experience within the organization that I do think teams will covet here. When it comes to Kevin Young, yes, he does have what I just mentioned Jordi didn't have with the lack of experience as a coach. And we have seen coaches like Missoula here in the playoffs show that inexperience, which can hurt a team like the Celtics right now. They did win game 4 as they look to bring the series back to Boston, but you're seeing a time right now where coaching is huge. So yes, he doesn't have the experience, but he does have the experience with this group at Phoenix. Now, I haven't mentioned Nick Nurse yet. I think amongst these candidates, he's by far the Phoenix Suns' best option. I mean, he won an NBA championship, won Coach of the Year. Things did go downhill in Toronto, but they're in one of the hardest divisions, if not the hardest division in basketball, and we're not able to attract the talent into that organization. Scotty Barnes, yes, is a stud, but when you're replacing a guy like Kawhi Leonard, things just did not go in the direction that the Toronto Raptors were hoping for. They moved on from Nick Nurse. They're moving on, but if Nick Nurse is able to go to a team like the Phoenix Suns who have the talent, we've seen him take that step as a coach. We have seen him win a championship. He had an unbelievable team. Yes, Kawhi Leonard played out of his mind, but Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are really damn good. If I'm the Phoenix Suns, amongst these guys, the guy I want is Nick Nurse. Now, Nick Nurse obviously is speaking to Philadelphia, is speaking to Milwaukee, coaching a guy like Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo is obviously extremely attractive from a head coaching standpoint because they're two of the best players in the league and very loyal to the organization that they are a part of. So it's not like it's just the Phoenix Suns who are speaking to a Nick Nurse. But if I had to choose between these candidates, I think the veterans, not the right fit. Vogel, yes, took a step recently, but Doc has not been that great in the big moment these last couple years. Fernandez, great coach. Don't think this is the best situation. I like Young because he's been in-house already. But Nick Nurse is by far the best candidate for this job for the Phoenix Suns. Will he pick the Phoenix Suns? He certainly has a lot of different choices here. And I do think it's very attractive to go to a market like Phoenix, especially with how difficult the Eastern Conference is. But Phoenix, do whatever you can to get Nick Nurse. Because of the 5 people you're speaking to, he is the best option to take this team to the next level and win an NBA championship. What do you think of the candidates here, the finalists for the Phoenix Suns? Who do you think they should hire as its next head coach? Feel free to give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more of my exclusive content. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you very soon.